year when a lot of you might be thinking about buying a Christmas wreath. But this year, why not try something different? Make your own. They tell me it's not all that hard to do. So we've traveled to Ossining, New York this morning, where I'm joined by Rachel Newman, the editor-in-chief of Country Living magazine. Good morning.
Good morning, Paula.
So first of all, what sort of greens should you consider?
Well, the most common are spruce and pine. You might also want to use boxwood, laurel leaves, lemon leaves, but we've used white pine for our wreath.
So once you pick that out, how do you get started?
All right, the easiest way to do it is just to buy a wire form. These are available in florist supply shops. But you could also use a styrofoam wreath. They come in straw. You can make your own with chicken wire if you wish. But we think this is the easiest one. And it's very, very simple. You cut your boughs about 18 inches long. You just kind of wind a few together to get some thickness. You just place it into the wire form, and then you start working your way around and just overlap them, place one over the other. Thank you.
Boy, I think I can even do this.
And the trick is to work in one direction and keep it as lush as possible.
So how many of these would you use around? Like a couple dozen?
Oh, you could use 30 or 40, depending upon how thick they are. And then when you get it as full as the one we have over here, then you can start adding your decorations. And we use bittersweet. This is a wonderful time of year to use bittersweet.
Not difficult to find now.
Not difficult to find, and we do think it's a good idea to gather it probably 2 weeks before you start using it, to let it dry out so the berries don't fall and bleed all over the place. Then when you have your full wreath, we put the decorations on, and we've used lady apples and pine cones, and it's really simple to do. You just simply put wire through the apples, place the apple into the wreath, pull the wire around the back, just twist it in place. You can work all the way around the wreath with the apples, or just keep them in one spot.
So it's really hard to make a mistake, because you just pull it out and try again.
It's very hard to make a mistake, and pine cones are even easier. You just loop the wire around one of the petals, put it in the place where you'd like it, twist it in the back, and you have your wreath. One of the tips that we should say is if you're using a wire form, you can put as many decorations on as possible. If you're using chicken wire, you have to keep it a little lighter, because when you hang it, the weight of the decorations could weight it down. So we think that this is really the best form to use.
How about creating a garland? Where you would use it and how you would make it?
Well, garlands are always thought of around the hearth. I mean, the hearth is really the center of family life because it's warm and cozy.
Depending on where you live, of course.
But you can also use garlands on banisters, and we've done a beautiful job here on the banister. And you can use them over doorways. We like to put them along the shelves on bookcases. And on the outside of the house, you can frame your door, or you can even swag them on the fences outside the house. And making it is pretty much the same way. We have a long one going across the front of the table. But in this case, when you do your garlands, you'd cut your branches a little bit longer
than you'd use in the wreath.
Exactly.
And then you string them together with the wire again?
You begin to overlap them at the stem end. You make bunches with wire, overlap them, and we use this florist wire. It comes in pieces about this long. We just start winding it around. And you make it as long as you wish, and then when you have it as long as you want it, you attach your decorations the same way we did on the wreath.
So when you do this yourself, you're not really spending all that much money, are you?
No, not at all. It's one of the easiest things to do. And then when you're finished with your garland and you've decided where you want to place it, in order to put it up, you make these loops out of wire. And you do it the same way you wind the branches together. You just make a little loop, twist it around the garland at both ends, use a little tack in your beams or on the mantle, and just hang it where you wish. And you might want to camouflage that with a little more bittersweet or a bow or some more apples.
Before we let you go, we need one more mantle idea. You've got a stunning one here.
Well, we've used all kinds of things here. We love to use fresh fruit on the mantle, lots of bittersweet. We put our Christmas cards up there, and it's a wonderful place to display your favorite antiques.
You've done a very nice job.
Thank you,
Rachel. Nice to have you join us again today.
Thank you.
And coming up tomorrow, we're going to teach you how to make your very own gingerbread house.